alaikum ji and a very good evening. I'm your host Maliha Anis Bari and this is No Turning Back with Maliha Anis Bari. Um, Zindagi mein, as I always say, you come across a lot of different people, different circumstances make you meet different people, and they all impact your life in some one or the other way. Some do a positive impact, some do a negative impact, and it's only up to us कि हम negative energy या positive energy, किस energy को हम absorb करते हैं. Just like that, the guest that I have in front of me is someone that I happened to meet at LUMS. Yes, again, this is not a paid post again. But she was there at LUMS and that's how I still remember the first time I gave her a call. She said, आपको मेरा number कहाँ से मिला? So I tried telling her, I said, woman, you know what, कानून से लंबे हाथ मेरे भी हो सकते हैं. But jokes apart, she is part of a very impactful department at LUMS. And without any further delay, I would like to ask her some questions and hand the mic to her. So, Assalamu alaikum, Vishal. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Good, Allah ka shukar. Vishal, there are so many things I know of you, and you know, जितनी हमने mention की और अभी बाहर बैठे हमारी जो गुफ्तगू, it started off with Radio Pakistan, and you know, she bumping into somebody that she knows one way or the other, and then there's LUMS, and then there is CES that you're looking at. So what all is, you know, LUMS, and then what all is CES about? Because CES, I think, is the new thing that a lot of children that I know of, and since I'm in the education sector myself, so you know, CES एक वो वाला इदारा हम कह सकते हैं, within LUMS एक ऐसा इदारा है जिससे बहुत सारे बच्चे benefit करते हैं. So what is CES itself, and then how is CES reacting, or rather responding to, you know, with so many queries, children coming and going, and then you guys are making an impact. So let's start with CES.
All right. So a brief introduction. I am Wishal Raheel and I am team lead marketing at the Center for Continuing Education Studies.
Okay.
So basically, I am looking at all the marketing that is being done for the center. Now, your next question, what is CES? Basically, it is the Center for Continuing Education Studies. Just we offer short courses. There are weekend workshops, you know. So basically educational opportunities to people in a slightly different way, you know. If it's not a degree program, it's not something that's going to, you know, last a year, 2 years. Short courses, 6 to 8 week long courses. And I'll share more details with you aage jaake. So it's all about that, right? And we encourage people from all walks of life to sort of attend our courses, to, you know, get something, gain something from them. And that's what CES basically is.
So I agree with her where Vishal is saying that it's people from different walks of life, all age groups, mixed age groups. Because मैंने अभी अपनी पिछली podcast में यही I was telling somebody that मेरे सबसे youngest class fellows at LUMS have been a pair sisters, and एक O levels का final year कर रही थी और एक A levels का final year कर रही थी. And the cultural diversity जो उसमें जितने मुख्तलिफ लोग थे, that's the beauty of this entire department. It does not look at your previous qualification. It does not look at your future plans, but it just gives you that live in the moment sort of a thing. So, Vishal, how do you guys go about it? There are different courses that, you know, CES is offering. I've seen from pottery, if I'm not wrong, or guitar lessons, something like that. So, you know, something related to art, and then there's scientific data analytics ke upar hai. So, how is that journey, and how do you guys look for instructors? What is the vision, and how did CES come into being?
All right, so basically CES started in 2017. That was the time when the higher management at LUMS, you know, decided that it was time to open up opportunities for people so that they could, you know, enroll in programs, if not in degree programs, 4-year ke jo degree programs. So then, because not everyone can, you know, enroll in a degree program.
And afford it as well.
And afford it as well. Plus, the concept of continuing education actually dates back to the 1800s. So, that's
pretty old.
Yeah, it is very old. So basically, continuing education, you know, sort of started in the UK and then simultaneously in the US. In the US as well, there were a couple of movements in which continuing education sort of played a very important role.
Movement,
there were multiple movements में भी continuing education का बहुत role रहा है. जैसे there was a Lyceum movement जहाँ पे, you know, people in small towns, you know, sort of started looking up to the concept of continuing education in one way or the other, you know, small classes and all that. So this concept dates way back, right? And then in the UK, वो Oxford ने start किया था, where, you know, they decided that it was time, you know, in the 1800s, that it was time to sort of get more people to benefit from education,
Yeah.
right? So Pakistan mein, it is a relatively new concept, I would say, at least in a formal sort of way, right? Because you can see, like, obviously there are academies and small institutes that are there, but when you speak of universities, so LUMS can be seen as the pioneer in this domain, in continuing education studies, because 2017 mein jab ye start hua, so LUMS was the only place where this was happening. A couple
And
of
now, and that too in the form of an entire department, I'd say.
yeah, an entire sort of center where it started off as lifelong learning. And it was usme tab hobby based courses. There were a lot of hobby based courses that were being offered at that time. Slowly it evolved. It became the Center for Continuing Education Studies, and then uske baad usme there came different sort of courses. Currently we're offering professional development courses, we're offering languages and cultural studies as well, and we're offering creative arts. So these are three main domains.
Yeah.
And then inke andar there are multiple courses, jaise courses for everyone, right? From accountants to auditors to people who want to enter the world of finance, to marketing. Ye sab professional development mein hai. Then we have guitar, we have so many filmmaking, so many interesting courses that sort of attract people from all walks of life, right? You took a course as well, the RJ course, how to become an RJ.
That's why I'm
stage
here.
host. Yeah,
that's why I'm
so
here.
so to sort of spark an interest in people and then encourage them to do something that maybe they wanted to do, but didn't really know how or,
to go
needed
about
like
it.
a push.
And I agree with Vishal over here, because I think I had been thinking of doing a podcast for the longest time in my life, and I was like, kabhi zindagi mein maine ek podcast karni hai somewhere, and I honestly did not know कि am I going to be able to do a until and unless I got this, I saw the ad and I ended up doing this course, and I think that did impact me and my life, because उससे पहले शायद ना हमें फैसिलिटीज़ का भी आइडिया नहीं था कि फैसिलिटीज़ किधर मिलेंगी. उससे पहले ये भी आइडिया नहीं था कि ओ अच्छा सोफ़ी जो कि खुद आई हैव नोन हर ऑल माई लाइफ ऑलमोस्ट, एंड लाइक ओ अच्छा सोफ़ी तो पॉडकास्ट करा सकती थी, बट द फैक्ट दैट एक इंसान को जिस तरह मैं पर्सनल स्केल पे जाती हूँ उसको प्रोफेशनली जानना और फिर उसके बाद उनसे लर्निंग करना इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड यू कम अक्रॉस दिस ब्रिलियंट बंच ऑफ पीपल. फॉर इंस्टेंस वन ऑफ माई क्लास फेलोज फ्रॉम लम्स, हम उनका हमेशा अभी वो ही इज़ नाउ इनरोलिंग हिमसेल्फ इन दिस कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स का एक कोर्स बिदामना खालिद. So he said it's requirement of my company, the company he's working with. हम उनका हमेशा ये बात मजाक उड़ाते हैं, कहते हैं सर आपकी कंपनी जो है ना वो वखरी कंपनी है जो कि आपको हर कोर्स मजबूर कर देती है करने के ऊपर ना हर कोर्स. बट then there again these are requirements that people want you to learn at the same time. आपकी अपनी professional grooming हो रही है. So Vishal, in the upcoming months or years, what is CES planning? Because कभी-कभी मैं देखती हूँ, not in a negative way, but generally, for example, अगर मैं आजकल देखूँ तो मैं कहती हूँ कि यार there is not any course that I can pick and choose right now. Because मेरा एक course that I'm doing is about to finish inshallah. So I'm like, I should do another course, but then I'm like, अच्छा, but then I'm looking at it and I'm like, नहीं यार कोई ऐसा course नहीं है. So how do you guys go about instructors? और किस तरह आप लोग courses की जो formulation है वो किस तरह करते हैं? Because when I'm doing my business का course, so I do understand, and my instructor, he keeps on telling us all the time that this is like a mini MBA that you guys are doing, which is like and I do understand LUMS का MBA is very very rigorous. LUMS का any degree at LUMS is very very rigorous. So how do you guys go about that? Instructors का ढूंढना आसान होता है नहीं होता, क्या formula होता है?
So our instructors, almost 45% of our instructors are actually LUMS alumni. People who have studied at LUMS, people, who have taught at LUMS, वो faculty members भी होते हैं जो कि LUMS के faculty members, some of them are taking courses जो CES के वो पढ़ा रहे हैं. Then we have LUMS alumni, people who've actually studied at LUMS. So, they are in a better position to sort of teach others as well, right? They
know how the drill goes about. Yeah.
So that, and we have a lot of industry experts, like you just mentioned, that Sophie was one of our instructors for our course, how to become an RJ and stage host. So we have a lot of industry professionals, industry experts who are teaching courses. Now, how is that a good thing? That's a good thing because they can connect you to the right people, through guest speaker sessions, they can connect you to the right kind of people within the industry, domain, in the industry. And second, they're familiar with the current practices in the industry, right? So, for example, if I were to talk about marketing, right? When I did my bachelor's, it was in finance and I took a couple of marketing courses. That was a completely different marketing that I sort of studied, 5-6 years later. it's completely different
Obsolete
now.
हो गई
It's
है,
obsolete
हाँ.
हो गई है, and now we are in a sort of skill-based sort of world where, you know, skills are more important
हाँ.
than your
knowledge.
knowledge and your actual degree. You know, so what skill do you have? Globally, you can see a trend that skill-based hiring is very popular.
Very,
you know,
yeah.
even if you are not a coder, if you don't have a, you know, degree in coding,
but if you know
how
coding,
to
yes,
code,
yes.
you know, if you're a good coder, they'll hire you. So skill-based जो हम hiring है ना, वो काफी हो रही है all over the world. So, you know, so skills, giving people skills, the right kind of skills, that's very important. And हमारे courses जो हैं, that's how we sort of form them for people. Yeah.
अच्छा, मैंने फॉर इंस्टेंस अभी आई एम प्लानिंग टू इनरोल माई सेल्फ इन अगेन इन वन ऑफ द कोर्सेज विच इज़ कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बाय आमना खालिद, एंड आमना हैपन्स टू बी माई इंस्ट्रक्टर फ्रॉम BNU days, you know. शी इज़ वन ऑफ दोज ब्रिलियंट इंस्ट्रक्टर्स जिन्होंने हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाया. वो हम थे जिन्होंने शायद उस वक्त सीखा नहीं, बिकॉज यू नो टू बी ऑनेस्ट. बट हम लोग जब ये कोर्सेज करते हैं, सो देर आर, एज वी मैंशनड अर्लियर, कि देर आर डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप्स. इज़ देर एनी पर्टिकुलर, एंड आई एम आस्किंग दीज क्वेश्चंस बिकॉज अक्सर व बेशतर मुझे सिंस आई एम इन द एजुकेशन सेक्टर, आई मीट अ लॉट ऑफ पेरेंट्स जो मुझसे इस तरह के सवाल पूछते हैं कि अच्छा बेटे आप लम्स जा रही हैं, सो अगर हमने अपने बच्चे को कराना है उसका क्या प्रोसेस है, कोई एज ग्रुप डिफाइंड है, नहीं है, क्या है, हाउ डू यू गाइज गो अबाउट इट? लाइक आई एम श्योर देर हैज़ टू बी सम टाइम लाइन या सम एज लिमिट टू इट.
Okay, so that's a very good question because we get that a lot. You know, what is the minimum age? So, अगर आप CES courses की बात करें, the short courses that are offered in the evening, you know, we say anyone above the age of 14 can take these courses.
Okay.
At least the beginner level courses, right?
Okay.
Because they can learn from that. But we also have programs called the summer school and the winter school. So these two programs happen, and also a new one called the Young Scholars Program. So the Young Scholars Program, you know, sort of started this year. In the summer.
Okay.
It was for children from 9 to 12 years of age.
Like
it was
बच्चे?
Yeah, बच्चे.
Like छोटे
9 to
बच्चे?
12 years of age, yeah.
Just pre-teenagers?
Yeah, and they were
Okay.
coming to LUMS. You know, they had like a few courses, and it was a new program. It did very well. So, you know, it was
How did you guys
received very
manage
well.
those?
You know, it's very nice, and we
They're-
have
they're a
really
handful,
good,
you know that, Vishal.
Yeah, they definitely are. And, you know, the summer school team, they're very good with, you know, young children, teenagers, and we also have the summer school, which is for, you know, people 13 years to 20 years,
20,
right?
yeah, about to go to university वाले बच्चे
So
जो हैं,
उसमें भी उसमें summer school में दो programs होते हैं. You know, there's the advanced high school program, and then there's the college preparatory.
college prep, yes.
So, you know, there's a little something for everyone. And now we have the winter school coming up.
And
so
what exactly is the winter school now that winters are approaching again?
Yeah. So the winter school is again a 2-week long, you know, program.
Break में, जो winter break में,
winter
ठीक है.
break में, so that, you know, instead of wasting your winter break, students can, you know, spend some time and learn something. So, you know, there are 4 courses that are going to be offered, and,
Okay.
you know, students can enroll for them, and it'll be a part of a whole program. And for anyone who, you know, who wants to sort of get more information, I would really encourage them to visit our website. And, you know,
You can mention the website. This is not a paid post again, I'm saying, but you can definitely mention the website if you want to.
Yeah.
CES dot dot lums.edu.pk.
Yeah.
I did it for you, Vishal.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested, Vishal, when these little bachas come, you know, the बहुत छोटे वाले बच्चे, I think 8 years, you said 8 years to 13?
The Young Scholars program was 9 to 13. Yeah.
How do you guys go about them? Like, because I'm asking you again because I am in the academic sector, और हमारे पास ये बच्चे होते हैं, you know, like हमारा तो school है, I'm in a schooling sector, so ये बच्चे आते हैं. How do you guys go about them? Because ये आसान नहीं होते handle करना, especially ये जो छोटे वाले बच्चे हैं, they can definitely throw a tantrum any time in the day. So क्या, like, is it, and what does this program have? Is this like, you know, making up a routine, giving them some new knowledge, some skill? क्या है ये?
So I'll start with the right web link for, you know, winter school. It's winter.lums.edu.pk.
Okay, so it's winter.lums.edu.pk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So coming to your question about young children, you know, yes, you know, it is
एक security, keeping them in that compound area, compact compound area.
So the first thing is, you know, for all our, you know, summer school participants, and for the Young Scholars program and, you know, winter school participants, we're very particular to ensure they don't leave the campus, right? So there are a lot of
vigilance and
checks in place. And obviously for the younger ones, 9 to 12-year-olds, so they are obviously monitored, and the instructors are very vigilant. We have our team, we're always there, on our toes, making sure that the children
they're
are
too tiny
fine
for LUMS,
But honestly, it gives them a very good sort of exposure. And I feel like back when I was a child, so there weren't any summer schools. There were summer camps, but no summer schools. So like summer school meant Harvard summer school. So that was the only summer school that you'd heard of. But not like a summer school over here.
But मैं सोचो एक बच्चा कह रहा है मैं LUMS जा रहा हूँ, आपकी उम्र क्या है बेटे 9 साल. Like one of those things, and these things, they impact you and they leave an impact on your life, because ये एक life learning process है जिसके अंदर ये लोग अपने आप को enroll कर रहे हैं. And going to for example, मेरे एक student है, वो मुझे कहता है कि मिस मैंने LUMS जाना है. So that's his dream school. उसने क्या करना है उसको ये नहीं पता, उसने क्या पढ़ना है वहाँ जाके उसको ये नहीं, उसको सिर्फ ये पता है कि बस मिस मैंने LUMS जाना है. So for somebody who's 9 years of age, is quite an impact. And so what do they do, like when they come to school, young ये जो बच्चे हैं आपके, what do they do, like इनके क्या programs?
So there are multiple courses. जैसे अब इस साल भी there were multiple courses that were offered. Some were core courses which were compulsory for everyone, and then there were electives. People, the little ones, they could choose if they wanted to take a particular course or not. Right. So just a young scholars program में a lot of students were taking maths, right, and it was a very interesting sort of course related to maths. So something that normally students wouldn't want to take, but because it's part of like the young scholars program, and it's being taught in a very creative way, taught in a very nice way. So us tarah se hote hain. So we have core courses, then we have electives that students can take. For the college prep program, students could take SAT coaching.
I remember.
So that's a really good thing, because a lot of times students are completely clueless about SATs. We have to take the SATs, but how?
But
what is it?
I always say, and whenever I look at that college prep program, I said it's a brilliant marketing strategy. Always. Because for anybody, जिस बच्चे ने LUMS नहीं भी आना ना, it's like an attraction tool. And that's a great way. For example, I know one of my students, he went to LUMS, and he's prepping for college. तब तक उसका आइडिया नहीं था कि उसने LUMS जाना है. बट व्हेन ही वेंट टू द कॉलेज प्रेप, ही वाज लाइक मिस बस दिस इज इट, मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी मैंने सिलेक्ट कर ली, इट्स ऑल अप टू माई SATs नाउ एंड आई एम जस्ट गोना गो टू LUMS. सो अच्छा, टेल अस मोर अबाउट CES and how what is the plan in the pipeline? How do you guys want to carry it on? Because of course this is a lifelong process as you guys are doing, माशाल्लाह से. So क्या इरादा है आगे? Because if I come to think about, मैं कहती हूँ इतने courses हैं that you guys actually can introduce. So क्या courses would you guys want to do further?
So we take suggestions from people, like we have a program, it's called Teach at CES. Like we encourage people to send in their proposals, to send in their if they want to teach a course. So if we receive their course outlines, we obviously, the higher management, they go through it. There's a whole system in place, process which they have to follow.
SOPs aapke lage huए in place.
Because we obviously also have to ensure, and we always ensure that the quality is never compromised on,
Definitely.
So because a lot of times people might think, it's a short course, we can just enroll and get a certificate. That's not the case.
I just told you what was happening.
Yeah. So you see, people who are, if a participant is not serious about it, they will not get a certificate.
And she's the one who has to give you your certificate, guys. Please know that. Be very nice.
So for certificates, we ensure that some very strict measures are in place, because obviously we uphold the values of LUMS. We obviously
in place hai.
And LUMS is known for its quality, the quality of the students that are graduating from LUMS. We all know, and the rigorous process that they go through. So we obviously maintain that standard, and ensure that not everyone, if somebody is not serious, then they will not get a certificate. So only people who are serious about learning, they will be able to benefit from the courses.
I tell you something, whenever I walk into LUMS, one of the best things that I find about it is that caste, color, creed, the nature of your clothing, the nature of your looking at, everything goes to one side. And I think what they really, really want at the end of the day is a finished product that is their student. They don't care कि आपने क्या पहना हुआ है, क्या कर रहे हैं, आप किससे बात कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं. They just want that finished product. And I've seen so many students, so many children, so many of my friends या उनकी आगे families में, where जिस product को हम कहते थे ना कि इसका बेचारे का पता नहीं क्या होएगा ज़िंदगी के अंदर, they have come out to be very, very polished people at the end of the day, and they're doing brilliant. So Vishal, how एक जो मेरा एक बड़ा एक अहम था, there are times that I come across the website of CES and I'm usually looking at things कि क्या होगा, क्या कैसे होगा. Um, are you guys looking, as you mentioned that teach at CES आप लोगों का एक है, is there any particular because anybody who wants to enroll as an instructor, any suggestions to them, any particular guidelines that they're supposed to follow, क्या है?
Yeah, so उसमें ये है कि when you send us your
Resume,
make sure it's updated, that you have everything listed down over there, and that you send a complete course outline, as clear as it can be, so that it gives us a better understanding of what your course is going to be like, right? And so we have so many courses related to, for example, if there's finance, right? We have multiple courses related to finance, right? So for instructors sending in their course outlines and resumes, it would be a good idea for them to sort of go through the currently existing courses, so that they can sort of see that if they want to choose the domain of finance, for example, they can assess whether or not a particular area of that domain is being taught. So they can sort of develop their course based on that. So that would be a recommendation. But yeah, and please feel free to send us your resumes, your course outlines, a short description about the course, and why you want to teach this course.
I think जिस तरह मैंने पहले भी कहा कि it's the only attraction if I call myself a student at LUMS, though it's a temporary course and everything, but one of the best things that I think is कि एक आपकी जो professional grooming मैंने जितनी देखी was at far at par with a lot of other schools and everything, and the fact that आप इतने professional लोगों से पढ़ रहे होते हो जो कि industry से usually आते हैं, and people who are coming from the industry have a different mindset altogether because वो practical ज़िंदगी को ज़्यादा वो करते हैं rather than the bookish knowledge that that we want to study or we've probably seen. But Vishal, how about, so there's a winter school, then there's a summer school, and then there is CS. What is next? And you yourself, by the way, Vishalka, I forgot to tell everybody that Vishal is an avid animal lover and an animal rescuer. So she has her own, she's got apparently a cat in the bathroom, because she's and then 4 in the bedroom as well, because that's how. So Vishal, when do you find that time, by the way?
So the 4 in the room, and then there are 12 in the cat room as well, and then
there's
there
a cat
are
room,
dogs as well. So
okay.
Time for that. Honestly, working at CES has been really good for me as well in terms of my own personal growth. I learn a lot. The team is amazing. And I think at the end of the day you do find time for things that you are passionate about. Like I was asking, how do you find time for so many things that you're doing? So like at the end of the day, when I go back home, I sort of find time for them, and obviously my husband is very supportive in that domain, so he's taking care of all the cats and dogs and ducks.
अच्छा, वैसे मैं आपको एक idea दूँ, honestly this is on camera and no jokes, do an animal rescue course. बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ ये नॉलेज एम्पथी नहीं है लोगों में जो है बची कुची वो ख़त्म होती जा रही है, बिकॉज आई थिंक वी आर सो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एज ए नेशन एज ह्यूमन बींग्स कि हमें समझ नहीं आता. एंड सेकेंडली आई वुड डेफिनेटली से कि डू एन एनिमल रेस्क्यू प्रोग्राम, बिकॉज बहुत बार हम देखते हैं कि बिल्ली बेचारी को चोट लग गई या किसी जानवर को चोट लगी है, वी जस्ट डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू विद देम. सो so for somebody like you, or I just had another friend of mine, Amna Tahir, at the show very recently, and she's an avid animal lover. I think I did share that with you. So she's one of those people जिनको पता है कि अच्छा अगर सड़क के ऊपर एक जानवर उनको नजर आए, they're supposed to rescue that person. It's like a duty, it's like an obligation. You guys should something, because I think as I was mentioning earlier कि वो empathy नहीं है हमारे में. For something like that, बड़ा ज़रूरी है वो इनकलकेट करना, स्पेशली जो आगे वाली जनरेशन, और आप तो इतनी छोटी छोटी जनरेशन ले रहे हैं कि आप लोग एक्चुअली में उनको ग्रूम कर सकते हैं. सो विशाल, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग ओवर एंड फॉर टेकिंग आउट द टाइम and for speaking about CES. By the way, again I'm mentioning this is not a paid post or a paid shoot at all. It's just out of, I would say, sheer friendship. और मेरी और विशाल की दोस्ती इसी तरह हुई थी कि आपका नंबर मेरे पास कहाँ से आया है, but she's there, and thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Bye bye.